we were Krishna has described, he has given the meaning of what is this body, that is kshetra. He calls it as kshetra. Who is kshetrajna, the knower of this field called body, that is kshetrajna, that is consciousness. And in summary, all beings have this consciousness. All beings have this consciousness. Human and all beings have the body called kshetra. But what differentiates human from others is we have intellect, buddhi, and we can explore and realize that actual identity of any human being, of each of us, is consciousness. We are the pure consciousness. We are the blissful state. We are always, actually, our true nature is to be happy always, and we are. But we are hypnotized or conditioned by so many things. Today, we are going to start with the next chapter also. What is that conditioning? From several births, apart from this birth, adolescent, everywhere, that conditioning gives us a false identity. Conditioning is giving us a false identity. We are identifying ourselves with a very petty identification, petty properties, which are actually not at all so powerful as compared to the true consciousness. That is very, very infinite bliss, infinite potential also. It knows everything, and each one of us are an embodiment of that consciousness. But that, to reach that, or to even understand or even accept that, that takes time. Actually, it really takes time, because unless we are convinced beyond doubt, but until then we can assume or we can have a faith, let me explore. That can be our attitude, and it really, really works. You can experiment this. In the last week, I did one small experiment because I wasn't getting enough time to, do. I normally do meditation and puja and few things I do, and then I get on to my work. But I was unable to do on 2 3 days, and I had many guests at home. So I thought, let me experiment this. And though I know, I'm convinced and I have strong conviction about this, but staying in that state of mind, I am not a realized soul, or I have a long way to go. But when you experiment, no, maintain silence whenever you get time, and then keep telling yourself, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that eternal consciousness. I am totally free from everything. Nothing can disturb me. This, if we keep telling again and again, that becomes a kind of our subconscious activity, and it does help. No tiredness, no reactions. We will become, to some extent, at least, Sthita Prajna. Sthita Prajna is second chapter. Krishna has told that remaining unperturbed and happy, let it happen. Whatever is happening, it has to happen, and I am not going to react, or I'm not going to get disturbed. So this thought of consciousness or being in that state, it's not that difficult, I felt. We only need to give enough time. Whenever we get time, we start loving that concept, then it will start supporting. Some support starts coming from within. So this consciousness, he has told that I am there everywhere. It is a very simple task. If we really feel, it's not that complicated. It is just that we have to withdraw and then feel that I am all consciousness, I am all bliss, and I am the knower of this kshetrajna. I am in the process. That's all. And kshetra, I'm in the process of knowing this body. Body means body, mind, buddhi. Where are my thoughts going? All that awareness of that consciousness. So that he has described, and most of the shlokas describe him, what he is, and he is there in each and every being. And he has told that you must understand, when you get into this knowledge, true knowledge, then uh, that knowledge is when you become that consciousness. That means when you reach that stage. So he says, basically, for us, as beginners, what we can assume is we will accept with faith that consciousness is everywhere, in every being, in every persons around us. So anything that disturbs us due to situations or due to relationships, that's how I titled it like that. So that is because of gunas that we will see what it is. It's prakriti. It is that's also a dynamic thing. It's not fixed. It keeps changing. But deep within, what doesn't change is consciousness. In him, in her, in or everybody around, the same consciousness as that which is there in me exists. So it's just a matter of time, matter of difference in that combination of gunas, which is making him or her or anyone show those kind of behavior. So that will make us understand, that will make us feel okay, no problem, both of us are of the same breed. It's like siblings, no? Siblings, we always say Anna Tangi, Akka Tangi, Anna Tamma. Usually we don't have many conflicts among our siblings, at least when we are small. Even when we are grown up, though we may have some difference of opinion, we accept them, or with parents. Similarly, with anybody, if you think they are our siblings because same consciousness is there. Today, he tells that in the next chapter, he is the father, he is the great father for all of us. So we are all born to him. Then when we are all born to him, then we become siblings, no? The same consciousness is there means we are all siblings. So how we interact with our siblings is precisely what we are expected to do with our fellow beings. We are all siblings. We are all born to the same parents. He's going to we are going to go there in the next chapter. So in the last shloka he said, so basically, before we become liberated or before we reach attain that samadhi sthiti, this thought helps us in understanding people, understanding and accepting people, and tolerating people, and with uh, we will have the strength to explain something or convey something, because when we know we are all the embodiments of that consciousness, then we need not hesitate, we need not have any fear, because we are that consciousness which is infinite. So I can just sit for a while, meditate, and start acting. It will have tremendous impact on everything around. So in the last sloka, he says, Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatsu avinashyantam yaha pashyati sa pashyati. We had stopped there. He who sees the Supreme Lord existing in all beings, the imperishable in the perishable. He really sees. That means yaha pashyati sa pashyati. That means the person who sees Supreme Lord equally in all beings, equally uh, in all beings, the imperishable in the perishable. This we had told. Perishable is what we said, this body and the things around. They're all going to die. They're all going to be destroyed because they're all temporary matter. But what is within is the consciousness in living, non living, and among living, all plants, animals, humans. So, that if a person is able to see through, if a person is able to see through, just imagine you are reading a book, and this book is made of this paper, wood, and all that, but somebody has written it. Who made that person write? What is the intelligence behind that person to write, to interpret, to comment, and all that, right? And who is a person who actually manifested this wood and all the elements that brought this paper? If we start thinking like that, then we find that superficially everything gets destroyed, but deep within that consciousness, that remains, that can neither be created nor destroyed. So that is the imperishable, and that is the consciousness. So that if we understand, then a person, similarly, when you see, as we just now explained, if you see any other human being, his mind, his thoughts, his or her thoughts, mind, everything keeps changing. So he or she will not be the same tomorrow. Not will he or she will not be the same throughout in the same day also. So that keeps changing. But what is within that purity, that consciousness, that is eternal. So we must respect others, and we must accept others. We must accept everything as a manifestation of the consciousness. If we are able to, if we reach that stage, then we are truly seeing the world as it is, as per his vision. Divine vision is exactly the same. Consciousness, divine, everything. So next we go to 28th shloka. samam pashyan hi sarvatra समवस्थितमीश्वरं न हि नस्ति आत्मनात्मानं ततो याति param gatim. So next he continues. So in the entire chapter he is stressing on that fact. See everywhere, same thing. See me in everybody. See me in all beings, non-beings. Now he says again, he repeats, and he says, seeing the Lord equally present everywhere, another advantage is he uh, endures nahi na hinasti atman atmanam. He does not injure the self by self, capital S, small s. He does not injure the self. That means he does not cause any kind of disrespect, you can say, by the lower self, and so goes to the highest goal. What is the meaning of this is uh, self is consciousness which is present everywhere. So when you see him everywhere, the consciousness everywhere, we're calling it him, then you don't hurt yourself or you don't hurt the other person also. Hurting, he brings that point. In the previous, he says clarity of vision. When you see everywhere the Lord, and you see that outwardly something is there, but deep within it is that consciousness, that which is the intelligence which is driving everything, that which is shining, then you are seeing properly. Now he says, if you have this vision, like we said, he says, there is the person does not injure the self by self, means neither himself. When you see a person atman in another being, why will you hurt? Oh, the same consciousness is there within you. Come, we will put our hands on his shoulders and we will walk like thick friends. We both belong to the same, we flock together, we belong to the same category, we are the same. We did not realize this. And ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಬಿಡ್ಲಿ, they may not be in the same platform, they may even laugh and say what has happened to her ಅಂತ, but you start showing that. That is exactly, he says, when you see that, see how beautiful it is. Next day you get up and you see consciousness in your fellow beings, and what a great feeling it is. Actually, what a great feeling. Just experiment at home, just experiment at home, where day in and day out we have some arguments. Just think for a while, no, this is all superficial. Basically, we both are same. I and she, I and my mother, I and my daughter, I and my son-in-law, daughter-in-law, whoever, I and my colleague, we are all same. If that thought comes from us first, then the other person will automatically, he is bound to change his prakriti, his guna also, no, immediately it will change. Sri Ramakrishna used to say that every person has every person, now gunas will go in details and technically, every person, he say broadly, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was not a great he was not educated in like us. But he was a total jnani, he says, when you, every person has the divinity and devilishness. Everybody has a ಎರಡು ಇರ್ತದೆ mixture. So if you trigger by your actions or body language or words, if you trigger the good things, no, his divinity comes out. On the contrary, if you trigger the negativity, then he will, burst out. So many times we feel that we are not comfortable with a particular person, but this lesson can be a very good exercise for us to take the initiative and bring the things back to normalcy. He is not behaving properly with me, she is not behaving properly with me. Okay, let us put the first step, let us talk nicely. Very simple example, when the cars are, when you have here only in front of our house there is temple, and when Tuesdays and Fridays there's a lot of rush, the cars will be coming opposite to each other, we'll be going this way and suddenly the roads are not very wide, and other person expects you go back, I will go ahead, and we'll be expecting you go back, we have come all the way here, you just turn, you go back. Andre, we have started following this. My husband particularly, I must appreciate him. So he will take it back, or if the other person takes back, he will stop the car, he says thank you very much ಅಂತಂದು ಹೋಗೋದು. Simple ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಅವನನ್ನ ನಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು he will smile and he'll say okay sir, no problem, whether it is driver or owner, whatever it is. So if we take the first step, we can bring the things under control by stimulating the expression of the divinity consciousness. Divinity is nothing but consciousness. So this can come when a person evolves. Who will take the first step? When a person is willing to uh, reduce his ego for the betterment. That is one. Second thing is when he starts advancing in understanding consciousness. Of course, when we reduce our ego, we will start understanding. More knowledge will start coming from within, not from. This will only trigger the classes and the reading. Actually, it comes from within. So he says, when you start seeing that consciousness in everybody, then you will neither hurt yourself nor others. You will not hurt. That is the actual meaning. Nahi nasti atman atmanam. Self by self. We cannot hurt the consciousness. It will never get hurt. It is pure consciousness. But the lower self will not try to injure itself also, others also. Because when we are so pure, so blissful, where is the question of injury? Injury is miles away, it doesn't exist. Because nothing can bother me. I am pure soul. I am pure consciousness. This is how the person will start, visualizing. He will start getting that kind of vision. So differences among the people, separation, demarcation, all that will the wall of demarcation, between two individuals, all that will drop the minute we start believing that it is the same consciousness. We are all same. We are all same species, except the gunas, little bit here and there. So I will take the step and I will try to be calm. I will try to manifest that divinity, which in turn will calm down the other person and trigger the divinity in him. This is a very tough thing actually, but it is not an impossibility, and you can experiment. It works magical to bring things under control. प्रकृत्यैव च कर्माणि क्रियमाणानि सर्वशः यः पश्यति तथात्मानम् अकर्तारं स पश्यति. He or she truly sees. He has a clear vision. Who sees that all actions are done by Prakriti, and the self, capital S, that consciousness, is actionless. The capital S is action. Consciousness does not act. It is all Prakriti. Consciousness does not act. It is all the Prakriti. That Prakriti includes the body, mind, ahankara, buddhi, decision, choice making, and action, words. Everything is Prakriti except that. But then what is the role of that consciousness? It is the intelligence. It guides, it shines, but it doesn't work on its own. It does not perform. What performs? Prakriti performs. So these are the two components we have seen, Prakriti and Purusha. So all actions are done by Prakriti. Previously also we have seen that Prakriti kriyamanani guna karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. Andre ahankara is the one which is a guna, our guna only. It will say, I did this, I did that, adella illa. Prakriti is doing. This lower I, which I and you are seeing, this is complex it is, but just understand, this is also part of Prakriti only. So we must understand, as an observer, there is one consciousness, there is one Prakriti, and they are acting. Then where are we? We have a small free will by which we choose our actions. That is also part of Prakriti, but it has got a freedom. We will choose our actions and then Prakriti takes it. And based on what all, every time we want to choose a good thing, then the Prakriti becomes Sattvic. We want to choose ambition, greed and all that, it becomes Rajasic. We choose sleepiness, laziness, inertia, it becomes Tamasic. So it becomes, your choice will decide which guna will predominate, which tendencies will predominate. But otherwise, it is the momentum of that Prakriti which is acting. Nature is acting. That nature independently it works, but it is guided by the consciousness, right? So at this point of time, let us understand this, that everything is going on as per the law of karma, as per the law of Prakriti, based on the gunas, tendencies. That's all. This much we have to underline. Again, we'll come back to a deeper dimension of this at a later time. यथा भूत पृथक् पृथक् भावम् एकस्थम् अनुपश्यति तत एव च विस्तारम् ब्रह्म सम्पद्यते तदा. When one sees yatha bhuta pruthak bhav, pruthak means separate. One sees separate existence of all beings as inherent in one, and their expansion from that one alone, then he becomes Brahman. A person who sees that so many things are there, no? We all, I am there, you are there, this table is there, bench is there, flower vase is there. Everything has come from one. That has multiplied. Actually, it is like that. It was Parabrahman was alone. And if you see within everything, it is all one. Just like the ornaments made of gold. Ornaments made of gold. This is a classical example the Upanishads give. We have bangles, we have earrings, we have necklaces. So it is just like that. Maybe I am a bangle, you are a necklace, somebody is Mangal Sutra, somebody is a ring. So everything has come, but what is within? That is the gold. Gold has Nama Rupa, it is called. It will change its form, but within that there is only one. This is exactly how we are all existing in this universe, says Krishna. So a person who sees all these have come from one make, one raw material, and that is the consciousness. And everything, and that their expansion from that alone. So yatha bhuta prathak bhavam ekastham anupashyati. It's all from one. One sees separate existence as inherent in one. Earrings of gold, bangles of gold. So everything is within it. There is gold only, and their expansion from that. Then when you understand that, now we are talking. The person who is Brahman will realize that actually he will realize. If you remember, if you have heard Sadhguru's talks or Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, when they reach that Samadhi Sthiti, Paramana Maharshi, so they are all, they have realized, they have felt it. When they become just, they get lost in that state. So then, only then he becomes a Brahman. He becomes Brahman means that is liberation. He becomes one with the consciousness. Now I know. I also belong to the same gold. He also belongs. So when I realize that, realization, experience. Anaditvat nirgunatvat paramatma ayam avyayaha sharirasthopi kaunteya na karoti na lipyate. So he says anaditvat nirgunatvat, being without beginning and without any gunas, without any beginning, without any gunas, is this supreme self. This consciousness does not have beginning. We have discussed there is no beginning. It was there, it is, it will continue. We don't know when it started, when it will end. Though there is, manifestation and pralaya. Sarga, pralaya. Sarga is, they say creation, it's not creation, manifestation. And then pralaya, it goes back in a seed form, and again it manifests. So that is happening, but it is happening eternally. So being without beginning and devoid consciousness does not have any guna. It is simply bliss, and it is avyayaha, immutable. It cannot reduce and shrink in its size, immutable. O son of Kunti, though existing in the body, it exists in the body, so it does not have a beginning. It is devoid of gunas, and it is immutable, exists in the body. Though it is there, it neither acts nor it is affected. One more property of consciousness, that is kshetrajna or the atma he is talking about. So he describes the attributes of the consciousness, what it is, how it is, and all that. So anadi and immutable, avyaya, eternal, supreme, all these are descriptions of that consciousness. And it does neither act nor gets affected. It doesn't act, it acts through prakriti. Itself it doesn't act, but it is required for sustaining, because it is intelligence, cosmic intelligence, spiritual intelligence. And nothing gets, it does not get affected. Remember the screen and the projections. So it is, if it is that screen, then nothing gets affected. It is very, very pure. as white as that screen. He says like that. And then Yatha sarvagatam saukshmyat akasham nopalipyate सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे तथात्मानोपलिप्यते यथा सर्वगतं सौक्ष्म्यात् आकाशम. As the all pervading akasha or the space is not tainted because it is subtle. Is there any space around? Yes, air has filled its space, but is it tainted? Akasha means it is not the sky, it is a space. It is one of the primordial elements, Pancha Mahabhutas, from where everything has been created as its combination. Akasha, that is space, then air, water, earth, fire. These are the five primordial elements from which the everything gets these are the first manifestations. Then from them everything gets created, uh, expressed in different combinations. So the space or akasha, we see space around, and there are so many things happening. We are painting on this wall, we are painting on a canvas. Does the space get painted? No, isn't it? It doesn't get painted. So likewise, it doesn't get painted, doesn't get destroyed. We spray water everywhere, or we water the plants, and we dirty the floor. But space is space. It is so subtle, that space, that it doesn't get tainted. Sarvagatam akasham na nopalipyate. Nothing gets imprinted. Lipyate. Lepana means applying. Nothing gets applied to that. In other words, it doesn't get tainted. So sarvatra vasthito dehe tatha atma nopalipyate. Just like that, the consciousness, the self existing everywhere in the body is not tainted. Everywhere. Sarvatra vasthito dehe. Sarvatra vasthito means in the body also it is there everywhere. It is not tainted. It is not tainted. Actually, the consciousness, we cannot restrict the presence of consciousness in the body to the heart. No, we feel that it is there all over the body. All over the body. They say every cell has got the consciousness. It pervades every cell. When it can pervade everything, each and everything, everywhere, don't you think it will pervade every cell, every organ, every atom, everywhere? In fact, the cell has an intelligence. The cell has a autonomy. I mean, there is a consciousness in every cell. There is one method of meditation by Sadhguru. It is called Chit Shakti meditation. And I can tell it with a lot of confidence because I practiced when I fell sick, and it works wonders. 14 minutes Chit Shakti meditation for health. And so beautifully, it's a guided meditation wherein he takes you through, control of prana, breathing, and all that. And then he says there is a light in your heart, and now allow that heart to uh, illuminate your head, face, forehead, and your cheeks, each and every part of the body. And then he says, now you visualize your face is shining bright, very bright, very bright. He starts guiding like that. Actually, I have sent this YouTube. I will share it in the group to many people who are suffering from cancer and all that, because with that, no, it's a truth. Actually, there is a consciousness. He is not using that word, but he's telling you have something. Allow all your cells, allow that light to enter your cells. He says, allow it to enter. That means already we must surrender each and every cell. Allow that consciousness to manifest in each and every cell. How beautiful it is. And it works. To me, it worked. Actually, it worked. I had lung fibrosis. And along with medications, I practiced that. And it really works, I tell you. It is not at all difficult. It works. So, there is consciousness, sarvatra vasthito dehe. So, he says, everywhere, throughout the body, Atman is not tainted. Atman is within the body, and everywhere. And this we have to understand, that every cell has the consciousness. And scientifically, if you feel, if you can correlate also, every cell is unique, is performing independently also. No, every cell, we call it as a unit of the tissues. So it has that consciousness, and that is how it is functioning. Chandrakala, hi. So, therefore, he says, just like the space, we are in 32nd verse of 13th chapter. Yatha sarvagatam saukshmyat akasham nopalipyate. Just as the space does not get tainted with anything because it is so subtle, it just cannot. It is so subtle. Similarly, this Atma is also very, very subtle, sukshma. Therefore, nothing can taint it. When you become very, very sukshma, no, that is what we are expected to become. When you become so subtle, sukshma means not sensitive, become so sukshma that nobody can taint you, nobody can approach you. That is the clear meaning of this Atma. It's there everywhere, but it cannot be tainted. We are supposed to reach that stage. Yatha prakashayatyekaha kritsnam lokamimam ravihi kshetram kshetri tatha kritsnam prakashayati bharata. As the one sun illumines the entire world, one sun illumines, isn't it? Very beautifully, the sun is illumining the entire world. So does he who abides in this kshetra illumines the entire kshetra. This kshetra is a body, and related to that. So one sun, you just see, as soon as you get up in the morning, are there many sources of light? No. That one sun is illumining the entire, not only Earth, so many planets. If whatever universe one can imagine, he is illumining all that, illumines the entire world. So this kshetra is illumining. I am speaking, you are listening, we are reading. Everything is because that kshetrajna, that consciousness, is shining through this body. So we must not, we should never ever think that we are working independently. No. This prakriti, this body, this mind, this skin, this hair, this eyes, everything is functioning because he shines. That consciousness shines through the medium of prakriti, through the medium of matter, through the medium of nature. That is the medium. It is giving it a medium through which he shines. More you become transparent. That prakriti transparency is nothing but moving from tamasic to rajasic, rajasic to sattvic. More sattvic you become, more manifestation, divinity, extraordinary manifestation. That's how in Vibhuti Yoga he says, wherever there is extraordinary merit, you assume that I am shining more there in those areas. Everywhere. Vyasa, he says. Sun, he says. Moon, he says. These are all my extraordinary manifestation. So, because they're all pure. So here, if we become more and more pure in our heart, pure in our mind, less chaotic, less complicated, you know, we can become less complicated. Very simple. I am the all consciousness, all pure. I'm born with that. Prakriti is acting. My nature, it will go. It will go one or the other day. But I will come back and feel that I'm consciousness. This is one. Otherwise, bhakti. Everything is God's. I surrender to you. You take care of me. Reduce your ego to small miniature. No ego. Zero. So Sri Ramakrishna has given one very beautiful example. He says Maya, this guna, prakriti is Maya. It is an illusion. Illusion means it will make you feel that this is real. So it will obscure the consciousness. So Maya puts a jal, it's in. Jal means net. And Swami Vivekananda was always, he was totally in that consciousness mode, Jnana Margi. So he was very strong. That guna, that tendency was towards Jnana Marga. I am the consciousness. And he realized Samadhi, everything. So he became so big that the net could not trap him. And there was one more, Naga Mahashaya, one more devotee, one more disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. He was utterly so devoted, his ego was so low that he escaped through the fine, spaces in that net. He escapes because his ego became so small. Another one became so big that he escaped. So Jnana Marga says, I am the consciousness. Nothing can bind me. That is one way. Or become totally submissive. Submissive means not becoming a coward or weak. No, it's not that. It is surrendering before the higher consciousness. So much of surrender that everything is done by you. I am not the doer. I will only think about you. This is the highest state, of course, but good to know actually. So he says that the just as the sun illumines this world, the kshetra, the so does he prakashayati. He illumines the entire kshetra. He, H capital, the consciousness illumines the entire body. क्षेत्र क्षेत्रज्ञयो एवम् अन्तरं ज्ञानचक्षुषा भूत प्रकृतिमोक्षं च ये विदुः यान्ति ते परम्. So they who thus with the eye of knowledge, jnana chakshu, chakshu is eye, jnana is knowledge, with the eye of knowledge, that means we start seeing with this knowledge, perceive the distinction between kshetra, kshetrajna, and also the emancipation from prakriti of beings, they go to supreme. In other words, bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye viduhu yanti te param. So they also understand the true nature of prakriti. They understand the nature of kshetra, kshetrajna. They achieve, they go to the supreme. So understanding means what? We must realize. We must realize. So that is the last shloka of this chapter. He who realizes that there is a consciousness, there is a prakriti, and everything is happening in this prakriti of this body. All my actions, outward and inward. Inward is all our digestion, circulation, everything, breathing, all these autonomic, involuntary activities within the body and outside the body, whatever we do with our voluntarily thoughts, thinking, and acting, everything is done by Prakriti based on gunas, your tendencies. Whatever is your tendency, it is taking you there. It's not that you will make choices, and if you make a conscious choice, then you will change. Then you can say you have a control on your prakriti. You can change the prakriti. If you are consciously moving towards the higher or trying to control, then you can. Otherwise, no, it will take wherever your tendency. That means your subconscious activity will push you into actions based on your gunas. What are those gunas is discussed in the next chapter. So that is prakriti. Consciousness is ever bliss, and he knows about this body. He knows because the screen knows what is happening on the, everything gets imprinted on that. So this difference we should know, and this is the true understanding of human nature, human body. We are immersed in the external world wherein there is no time for us to reflect on these things. We are not spending enough time on reflecting or applying these when we interact with the external world. If we interact, if we reflect and we interact, reflection is through meditation, and through that when we apply, more knowledge comes, more realization comes, more realization, and letting go of small things, if they interfere in your reflection, or in this reflection is nothing but spiritual activity, spiritual sadhana it is called. Small things which interfere, which actually don't matter, ಅವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಕಡೆ ಗಮನ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ, then our evolution will be faster. So that completes the 13th chapter. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yogo Nama Trayodashodhyayaha. That completes the 13th chapter. will introduce to the next chapter, and we can start from the next this one. Very interesting chapter is chapter 14. Um, so he has described the consciousness and Prakriti. And he talks about Kshetrajna is this one, Kshetra is this, and he tells what, but he doesn't go in detail. Now, in this chapter is what Prakriti is all about. Prakriti means you can call it as nature, nature, that means beautiful nature, which is not polluted by artificial, natural, that way. And the same thing applies to human nature. Much more important is human nature, extremely important, because entire Bhagavad Gita is to uh, change that nature. Effort, human effort. Bhagavad Gita talks about human effort to change your nature and understand what is truth. For example, Arjuna was in a dilemma and he was thinking that he's going to kill somebody who was very close to him, and all that we have seen in the first chapter, Vishada Yoga. So he was not aware of what is actually the life, how we are supposed to perceive, and lead life. Perceive, first change is in our own perception. When we change our own perception, then we start working on ourselves, because our perception, observer's perception, things may be whatever, how you see and how I see, there is a big difference. How I see depends on my upbringing, my genes, my environment, and above all, my guna, which has been there, as I said, from several births. So that guna decides how each one of us will behave. Basic concept of guna is it decides the expression of, if you talk technically, guna decides how much of consciousness gets expressed. That is technical. Let's leave that. Guna speaks about three categories of personalities. So every person has all the three gunas, but one will predominate. And what is that major guna in every individual? That will show his personality. So, what is the purpose of knowing as per Krishna? Where are we heading? What is the purpose of knowing this guna? These are the binding agents they are, which will bind the soul to the body. So, let me be a little more clearer. We read Bhagavad Gita, we read spiritual things in order to get relief from some things which are bothering in our mind. It starts like that. And after that, somehow we get used to and we know how to handle. Then we develop the curiosity. Uh, that is called a jidnyasu, knowing curiosity, a person who is interested, to know, to get that knowledge. As we go deeper, now Krishna takes you like that, and then he says, Arey, don't stop here. Your goal is far. Your goal is liberation. Because sorrows, because now you started studying Gita, you got engaged your mind somewhere, you thought your problems and challenges have gone, but suddenly they will appear again. Again, you will go back to the same misery. You will become attached, you will cry, or you will react, or you'll get angry. Then again, it will come back. So this roller coaster ride is there, no? If you don't take care of that now, then it is going to go on, and you will die, and again you will come back and same roller coaster ride. Do you want to do that? No, I will give you a solution to get over that. For you, the permanent solution, because again fall, again get up, again fall, again get up, again praying God, get rid of this. ಯಾಕೆ ಇದು ಬೇಕು? ಬೇಕಾದಾಗಲಿ, whatever happens, let it happen around me. I am not perturbed, because that is Maya, that is Prakriti. I am the bliss. We have to reach that stage. For that, we should, uh, for that liberation, we should understand the gunas and work on that. Because even if you're good, there are three gunas: sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. All of them, uh, they are different. Rajasic is extreme, sattvic extreme low, rajasic is in between, sattvic is little evolved. But sattvic also doesn't liberate you, it will again bring you back. Only thing is you are more blissful, you have knowledge and you are happier. You have knowledge, you are happier. You may get problems, but you know how to get over them quickly, you will come back, unlike the other two. but that does not stop you, or that does not give you permanent relief from problem. Permanent relief from problems is liberation. That is moksha only. So for that you have to understand. So gunas, what they do, why gunas, being in prakriti does not liberate is they bind. Because when we are created, Krishna says in the beginning that there is big prakriti, and there I start impregnating, just like how a man brings a child. He says, I put souls into this prakriti. Souls, the different means his own consciousness appearing as multiple. So those souls with prakriti, they assume different bodies. Now what happens is, there is a soul, there is a body. Body means physical body. That is the hands, legs, anatomy, all these bones. Along with that, what comes is there's manasu, buddhi, ahankara, and gunas. That guna is like a stick, a fevistick. It will stick the soul, which is very pure. It came from him only, Krishna. And there was a body which also did not have its own existence, and there comes a guna. That guna will trap each one of us in different ways. That will bind that soul, which is so totally free. It was free. But this is how the creation is. We must accept. But if we know this, no, there's a guna, there's a soul, there is a body. That guna will bind. It will leave the body, again bring it there, again bring it there. If we understand, there is a trap here, there is a trick here. I am behaving like this. I should not. This is Maya. Vidura, he keeps telling Dhritarashtra, don't do this, don't do that. Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana insult them, and in spite of Vidura, most knowledgeable person, giving him so many suggestions, saying, Marbada, avoid this Kurukshetra. It is not going to do good to you and to him. You take care of your soul also. He doesn't listen. Then Vidura says, hell with them. It is Maya. Actually, Vidura will be very close to them. He's a great advisor. If he had got attached to them, just imagine what would have happened. No, he said, I am least bothered. I will take care of myself. And because he will take care of his evolution. Exactly like that, we should take care of evolution of ourselves. Understand, more attachment means more guna. That guna, no, gunas, sattvic, rasic, whatever. Attachment brings more. If we get immersed in that guna, difficult to get out, difficult to get liberated. So just keep sakshi and guna or prakriti, whatever is happening is happening. I am the pure soul. Adhan ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋದಂಗೆ we will get over our guna. I am not supposed to react. I am supposed to be blissful. I am not supposed to unnecessarily get hurt. Why will we get hurt when we have that ego? I am not the ego. I am the pure consciousness. There is ego. It's doing. Let it do. It's on the outer circle. I am pure consciousness. That is a guna. That guna will go. When we start doing all this, we move higher and higher. And the purpose of understanding gunas is one. When we interact with people, we understand this is this guna, that is that guna. They are bound to behave like that. A neem tree will give only bitter fruits. Mango tree will give sweet fruits. Guna bantilla erdralle. Can a neem tree give a mango, or a mango tree give neem? No, it is its prakriti, it's its nature. It's been designed like that to have variety. Nama guna rupa, earrings, necklace, iddangavu. Mango tree and neem tree. So now neem tree ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು mango ಕೊಡು ಅನ್ನೋದು, mango tree ಕೊಡು, neem ಕೊಡು ಅಂದ್ರೆ how he will give that creation. Do we have any control on that? We don't have any control. So understanding gunas will help understanding people. Understanding gunas will help understanding consciousness. Understanding gunas will help us to get liberated, and that should be made as our final ultimate goal. It is very interesting if we take in an objective way whatever is happening around us. So that is an introduction to this chapter, and I think we will stop here and we can have discussions, and then we will. So Bhagavad Gita is not beyond the reach. It is the best guideline to live peacefully with people. And Dharmyamrita, I will bring that Dharma Amrita, how to live in the society peacefully, in symbiotic manner. Live and let live. Adu orgade. Inside, it will help us to get liberated. Definitely it will get. You should start practicing, experimenting. It's going to do wonders. It will do wonders. A very, very beautiful thing. So before I wind up, I will thank my Guru, Swami Nirbhayananji Saraswati from Ramakrishna Mission. And he is constantly guiding me for the past 30 years. And of course, my mother was there, my grandfather is there. He was there. First shloka he taught me in fourth standard was Karmanyavadikaraste, English ಇದು ಬರ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು speech, which I gave in fourth standard. He was my first mentor. When my mother, Swamiji, and Chinmaya Mission, can never forget, because Bhagavad Gita has been very, very strong guide for me throughout all these days. But more you read, more you understand, and more you, I mean, now it's time to implement more and more in profession as well as in the personal life as a householder. So with that, I wind up here. And any additions or any